This page features Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat prominently alongside the Nintendo Power logo. The cover highlights key content within, including an explosive fighting game Blowout covering Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and an in-depth look at Street Fighter Alpha 2. It also teases a new comic adventure for Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, and an interview related to game development. Small character portraits for Mortal Kombat are displayed above the trilogy title, suggesting coverage of multiple fighters. The publication details indicate this is volume 89, dated October, with pricing listed for US and Canada. The next page features a powerful ad for Nintendo Power magazine. Using a striking visual metaphor, a group of kids and their bus driver are shown inside a bus, looking terrified as a massive, fire-breathing Bowser appears just outside the window. This depicts the chows and danger of facing challenging games, like those on the exciting new Nintendo 64, without help. The ad explains that Nintendo Power is essential, providing you with the knowledge to conquer games and avoid being roadkill. It highlights the magazine's value with secrets, strategies, maps, moves, and the latest reports on Nintendo 64 titles like Super Mario 64, detailing how to use the analog stick for total control over Mario and observe enemies like Bowser. A year's subscription is offered at a significant discount, including a bonus player's guide, urging readers to call or use the included card to subscribe and ensure they don't miss out on this vital gaming support. This page lays out all the goods we're covering this month. We've got the full rundown on major releases like Mortal Kombat Trilogy, packed with more fighters and brutalities, Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, which pairs up Dixie with an unlikely simian sidekick for Double Trouble, and Street Fighter Alpha 2, bringing World Warriors back into the fray. There's also coverage on Rum's Pac-Man, Prince of Persia 2, Tetris Attack, and the Battlezone/Super Breakout combo. Featured content includes a Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire comic, and strategies for Pilot Wings 64. We'll also get a look at previews for Wave Race 64, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Pinocchio, and NBA Hangtime, plus the usual news, strategies, and regular columns. Looks like a packed issue with lots of key games from the late 90s. This page features the Player's Pulse section, where readers share their thoughts. The introduction asks for opinions on the Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire comic series, noting it's the first comic feature since Metroid. Readers write in about various topics. One loves Super Mario RPG, praising its battle system and humor, while another critiques the claim that Zelda started Nintendo's RPG history, suggesting earlier games like Solomon's Key, Rygar, and Magician were significant. Another reader expresses frustration with extensive N64 coverage before the console is widely available. Feedback also covers magazine binding, website features, and the importance of game information over page aesthetics. Artwork includes Super Mario RPG characters, Chrono from Chrono Trigger, Yoshi, Earthworm Jim, and others. This page continues the letters section, featuring reader feedback and magazine news. A prominent letter expresses awe at Super Mario 64, describing it as a whole new world and highlighting the excitement building for its release. Another segment details a contest winner's trip to the Olympic Games. The page also includes a retraction correcting previous information about the N64's included A/versus cable. The Power Chart section provides lists of top games across different Nintendo platforms, including SNES, Game Boy, and the new Nintendo 64, along with a most wanted list and top football games, reflecting the current popular titles. Finally, a phone directory offers contact information for Nintendo Power subscriptions, game counseling, and pre-recorded game tips via Powerline, plus details on their online presence. This page dives into Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the Nintendo 64, highlighting the game's features. The folks at Williams have delivered a robust port with enhanced graphics and special effects. Key additions include the aggression meter, which rewards players who are taking damage, and the brutality finishing move, ensuring nothing is left of your opponent. The game also introduces tag team modes for up to 6 players in intense endurance matches. With 27 battlegrounds and a massive roster of characters from previous games, Mortal Kombat Trilogy brings a bloody bath of combat to the N64. The page showcases character art for Kitana and Motaro, and several gameplay screenshots demonstrating the new features and environments. This page delves further into Mortal Kombat Trilogy, showcasing some of the new blood joining the fight, like Noob Saibot, Rain, and Ermac. The game features a robust 8-player tournament mode, perfect for settling who's truly the best among your friends. The AI section offers insights into exploiting opponent patterns on lower difficulties, noting how they might pause or take hits until their health drops significantly. The more section revisits the aggression meter, emphasizing that hitting your opponent builds energy for enhanced moves, and elaborates on the brutality finisher, a devastating combo ending in a bloody pulp. An MK Chronicle section provides a brief look at how features have evolved across the series, highlighting Trilogy's comprehensive nature. Character art of Sonya Blade and Goro, along with various screenshots, punctuate the page, giving a visual taste of the action. This page dives deep into the multiplayer modes and new additions in Mortal Kombat Trilogy. You've got Endure This, offering 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 tag team endurance matches for up to 6 players, perfect for proving tag team dominance. Then there's the Tourney Terror 8-player tournament, a brutal elimination mode where your rewards can range from fatalities to tough fights against Shao Kahn's goons. The game also features new moves, including Raiden's Reverse Lightning and Baraka's glitch-turned official Whirling Blade, plus tweaked existing combos. Rain, the Edenian traitor, is highlighted with his powerful lightning and tractor fireball moves, demonstrating his dangerous fighting style. Screenshots show these modes and moves in action, alongside character art of Rain and others, giving a glimpse of the extensive roster and brutal gameplay. This page showcases more of the extensive roster and abilities in Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Featured here are fan favorites Jade, Noob Saibot, Ermac, and Smoke. Jade is highlighted with her signature boomerang, glow kick, and invincibility moves. Noob Saibot, one of the mysterious brothers of Shadow, brings the ghost fireball, body double, and teleport. Ermac, the enigmatic warrior, utilizes a devastating teleport punch and fireball. Finally, Smoke, the cyborg ninja, employs his trident and invisibility techniques. Each character's moves are detailed, along with screenshots demonstrating their effectiveness in combat, giving players a solid overview of their unique fighting styles. This page highlights a special Nintendo 64 and Nickelodeon promotion called Spot the Dot, an instant win game. Players were invited to watch more Spot the Dot on More Nickelodeon, nightly between October 7th and 20th, 1996, at 8 p.m. ET 7 p.m. Court. The goal was to look for a red dot on screen and hold a game piece from the magazine up to the TV to reveal a secret message. The grand prizes included a walk-on role on The Secret World of Alex Mack, a trip to Los Angeles, a Nintendo 64 system, and the legendary Super Mario 64 game. Other prizes featured Nintendo 64 rentals and issues of Nintendo Power magazine. The page also features details on the Nickelodeon shows airing during the promotion period. The Wubulous World of Dr. Seuss, Hey Arnold, The Secret World of Alex Mack, Kablum, and Keenan and Kel. This was a cool way for Nintendo to team up with Nickelodeon and get kids watching TV and engaging with the magazine for a chance to win awesome prizes, including getting their hands on an N64 and Super Mario 64. This page dives into the upcoming Wave Race 64, highlighting its realistic wave action, dynamic control, and stunning 3D graphics, promising an experience unlike any other jet ski game. It details the various ways to play, including the championship, setting time records, practicing acrobatic skills, and exploring the open dolphin park. The article also covers the 2-player split-screen mode for head-to-head racing. Players can choose from 4 distinct riders, each paired with a unique jet ski, offering different attributes like handling, speed, and acceleration. You can even customize settings like handling, engine, and grip, and save them to a controller pack. The reviewer seems genuinely impressed by the game's visuals and dynamic feel. This page delves deeper into the modes and courses of Wave Race 64. It outlines the challenging championship mode with its different circuits and point system, the time trial mode for setting speed records on unlocked courses, and the aquabatic stunt mode, where players earn scores by performing tricks like barrel rolls, backflips, and handstands within timed stages marked by hoops. Several race courses are highlighted, such as the wavy Sunday Beach, the visually stunning Sunset Bay with its choppy turns, the peaceful but challenging Milky Lake, the obstacle-filled Port Pirates, and the rocky Castle City with a potential shortcut. The page features various screenshots showcasing these modes, courses, and stunts, emphasizing the game's graphical fidelity and varied gameplay. This page showcases a chapter from the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire graphic novel series by Dark Horse Comics. The content ties into the Star Wars timeline, specifically picking up after the events of The Empire Strikes Back, following the Rebel Alliance on the run from the Empire. The page features a large, detailed illustration of characters, including Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, Lando Calrissian, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2. Comic panels depict intense space combat with X-Wings and other ships, featuring pilots like Luke Skywalker. The text highlights Dark Horse's approach to Star Wars comics, mentioning their earlier series Dark Empire and praising the vibrant artwork. The narrative summary mentions the Emperor's plans, Vader's reflections, and the search for Han Solo, involving Leia, Lando, Chewbacca, and Boba Fett. This page continues the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire comic, detailing the Rebel Alliance's plan to rescue Han Solo from the Imperial Enclave on Gaul. Luke Skywalker and Rogue Squadron will create a diversion, while Lando Calrissian, Leia Organa, Chewbacca, and C-3PO infiltrate the base. They are guided by the mercenary Dash Rendar, whom Lando trusts despite Leia's apprehension about relying on a smuggler, especially given the heavily fortified nature of the Imperial facility. The conversation reveals how Boba Fett's ship was damaged, leading him to seek repairs there. The team split up to carry out the risky mission. This page continues the thrilling Star Wars Shadows of the Empire comic, showing the Rebel Alliance's plan in action. Luke Skywalker's Rogue Squadron flies diversion, while Lando Calrissian and Chewbacca on the Millennium Falcon head for the spaceport, guided by Dash Rendar. However, Dash, true to his mercenary nature, suddenly bails, firing on the Falcon as he leaves, declaring he was only paid to guide. Lando and Chewie press on despite facing heavy ground fire. Meanwhile, Boba Fett is seen rushing towards his ship, Slavid, at the spaceport, but is intercepted by the bounty hunters IG-88 and 4 Lom, leading to a blaster confrontation. This page continues the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire comic adaptation. Boba Fett's ship, Slavid, lifts off while the Millennium Falcon is under heavy attack from TIE fighters, suffering significant damage to weapons and communications, making pursuit impossible. Meanwhile, Luke Skywalker and the other rebels discuss the attack, discovering the sabotage on Luke's ship was paid for through an Imperial Front Corporation. They realize Vader wanted Luke alive, contradicting previous actions. Leia suggests the criminal organization Black Sun might be involved, and stresses the need for intelligence. Han Solo advises Luke to go to Tatooine for safety, believing Boba Fett might be heading there with Han, and instructs Luke to lie low near Mos Eisley. Luke agrees, and prepares to leave with R2-D2. The story promises to continue on Tatooine. This page dives into Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, offering a tantalizing sneak peek at the game while it's still in development. The main story sees Dixie Kong teaming up with her baby cousin Kiddy Kong to find the missing Diddy and Donkey Kong, all while facing the Kremling robot Chaos. The game is packed with detail thanks to its 32-megabit, battery-backed cartridge. The page highlights new features and characters, including the Bear family who offer advice and quests, Swanky Kong's tent for minigames to earn prizes, and Funky Kong's rentals where you can get new vehicles by finding parts, like the hovercraft obtained after defeating the giant spider, a rich. Screenshots showcase various levels and the new character interactions. This page details the allies and adversaries found in Donkey Kong Country 3. Returning friends like Cranky, Swanky, and Funky are joined by new animal helpers, including the massive Kiddy Kong, who can lift Dixie and roll into a ball, and Ellie the elephant, who uses her trunk to grab items or spray water. The mysterious banana birds, trapped in crystal caves, can be freed by replicating specific melodies. On the enemy side, Katos commands a formidable army of varied Kremlings like Clap, Bristle, Coin, Copter, Recoil, Nibla, and Buzz. The magazine points out, these foes are tougher than before, requiring players to develop new strategies to overcome their unique abilities and defenses. Screenshots show gameplay moments featuring Kiddy, Ellie, various enemies, and the wrinkly Kong save point. This page dives into the 7 vast regions featured in Donkey Kong Country 3, explaining that if you chat with Blunderbear, he'll share details about a secret lost world. We get a look at each area, from the scores of Chaos's crew invading Lake Orangutonga and the dark Kremwood Forest home, to Brash Bear, to the polluted Mechanos and the tiered lakes of Cotton Top Cove. The guide highlights the icy Esk 3, where Bleak the Snowman lurks, the mountainous Razor Ridge with its chairlift operation, and the challenging Chaos Core, the final area surrounding Chaos's complex. The Vital Team Throws technique is emphasized for finding hidden secrets, along with specific gameplay highlights like Deep Sea Dangers, Doorstop Dash, Treetop Terror, and Pipeline Perils, showcasing the varied challenges awaiting Dixie and Kitty. This page is the Counselor's Corner, offering tips for two classic Super NES titles. For Uncharted Waters, New Horizons, we learn how to avoid unwanted sea battles by having fast ships like the full-rigged ship from Antwerp, or by waiting until nightfall. The section also details how to acquire various skills, such as accounting, cartography, celestial navigation, gunnery, and negotiation, mentioning instructors like Professor Giuliano for navigation and Dr. Wolf for gunnery, and the necessary character attributes. In the Ogre Battle segment, players get advice on inventory management, specifically how to remove or transfer items. There's a strategy guide for defeating Gares, the Black Knight, emphasizing the effective use of tarot cards like the Fool to banish his forces. Finally, the criteria for recruiting Tristan into your army are outlined, requiring high alignment, charisma, possession of the hero star, and key of destiny obtained from Banya in Zenobia, and giving the key to Tristan at the battle for Milano. This page is packed with valuable gaming advice, starting with Final Fantasy II-I on Super NES. It details how to obtain the powerful Paladin Shield by enduring 255 battles with the Cursed Shield, offering strategies for defeating the challenging Phantom Train using Phoenix Down and Revivify, and provides multiple tactics against the Atma weapon, including using Flare, Quake, Osmos, and specific character abilities from Locke, Shadow, Sabin, Terra, Cyan, and Mog. For Game Boy players, there's a tip for Donkey Kong Land, revealing how to find the second bonus room in level 47 by using a TNT barrel to clear a path to a stash of 1-up balloons. Finally, a quick Q&A section covers common questions for Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, Robotrek, and Star Wars, offering pointers on character leveling, item locations, game mechanics like the battle screen timer, and specific actions like performing a super jump or boarding the Millennium Falcon. This page dives into Street Fighter Alpha 2, marking the return of the series to the Super NES. After a 2-year hiatus, the reviewer clearly states it was well worth the wait. The game is highlighted for its focus on true hand-to-hand combat, comparing the intense action to a Jackie Chan movie. The article introduces key gameplay systems like the Super Combo Gauge, allowing players to build energy for powerful super combos, tactical original combos, custom combos, and defensive alpha counters after blocking. With a roster of 18 characters and detailed animated backgrounds packed into its 32-megabit architecture, Street Fighter Alpha 2 is presented as a deep fighting experience, appealing to both purists and those looking for explosive action. Screenshots showcase the character select screen and intense gameplay moments. This page delves deeper into the roster of Street Fighter Alpha 2, showcasing 6 distinct fighters and their unique techniques. You get a rundown on characters like Adon, a Muay Thai master, Charlie, known for his sonic booms, the powerful demon Akuma, the somewhat comical Dan, the surprisingly agile Birdie, and the dual-style fighter Gen. Each character section features a brief description, screenshots demonstrating their special moves, and a list detailing their signature attacks and super combos. Essential knowledge for mastering the advanced combat systems discussed on the previous page. It's a great visual guide to some of the game's diverse fighting styles. The next page continues the deep dive into Street Fighter Alpha 2's diverse roster, highlighting 5 more unique fighters and their signature techniques. You'll find coverage on Guy, known for his speed and ninja moves, Sodom, listed here as Katana, a close-quarters expert with powerful weapon attacks, and the mysterious Rose, who wields soul-based powers and impressive super combos. The military operative Rolento showcases his combo potential and tricky maneuvers, while the schoolgirl Sakura proves surprisingly formidable with her own variations of classic Hadoken-style attacks and potent super combos. Each section provides a character overview, action screenshots, and lists of key special moves and super combos to help players master their chosen fighter. The next page continues the exploration of Street Fighter Alpha 2's roster, showcasing more iconic world warriors. Ryu, the series protagonist, is highlighted for his classic moves like the Hadoken and Shoryuken, with advice on executing combos. Ken, his training partner, is featured with his unique variations and the powerful Shoryurepa super combo. Dalsim's stretchy long-range attacks and teleportation are detailed, alongside his various yoga-based techniques. Chun-Li brings her legendary speed with moves like the Hyakuretsu Kyaku and Kikoken. Sagat,
the imposing Muay Thai master, dominates with his tiger shots and crushing tiger genocide. Zangief, the Russian grappler, is all about throws and close combat with the spinning piledriver and final atomic buster. Finally, M. Bison rounds out this selection, demonstrating his psycho power and moves like the Psycho Shot and Psycho Crusher. Each character's section includes key move inputs and listed combos for players to master.
This page dives into the Super NES adaptation of M's Pac-Man by Williams. It highlights the faithful recreation of the arcade classic, where America's cyber sweetheart goes on a munching spree through various mazes. The game features 4 distinct maze modes: arcade for classic layouts, mini for reduced scrolling, big for large challenging maps, and strange for tough courses without energizers. The core gameplay involves navigating mazes, eating dots, avoiding ghosts, and using energizers to turn the tables. The page also details the 2-player modes: alternating turns, competitive play where eating an energizer affects your rival, and cooperative mode allowing both players to eat ghosts after one gets an energizer, all while tracking scores. It even touches upon the charming courtship animations between Miss Pac-Man and Mr. Pac-Man. This page serves as your essential manual for mastering M's Pac-Man on the Super NES. It guides you through key strategies, starting with finding optimal routes and understanding when to utilize energizers. Learn the point values for devouring ghosts after an energizer, escalating from 200 up to a massive 1600 points, and the importance of waiting for all ghosts to cluster before making your move. It also details the points awarded for the various fruits that appear, offering valuable bonus points. Discover the Pack Booster, a new feature allowing for speed bursts, and how it can be used. Finally, the guide offers tips for tackling the different maze types introduced on the previous page: the classic arcade layouts, the faster-paced mini-mazes, and the sprawling strategic big mazes, emphasizing the importance of surviving early rounds and learning ghost behavior. This page provides strategies and tips for mastering the final class tests in Pilotwings 64. It highlights the importance of landing accuracy and impact, which account for a significant portion of your score, especially in the hang glider tests. Time points are also critical, particularly in rocket belt tests, where they represent 100% of your score. The page offers specific advice for 3 tests: the hang glider thermal flyer, recommending finding thermals above Little States Island; the rocket belt dark cavern, advising careful use of the air brake to avoid walls; and the gyrocopter ice hornet, suggesting memorizing ring locations to plan your approach. Practice from earlier certifications is emphasized for improving landing skills and minimizing errors. The goal is to approach landings carefully and reduce speed before touching down. This page continues the crucial strategies for passing the CLASP exams in Pilotwings 64. It provides expert advice for several tests, including the Rising Creek Ring course, where skipping early rings and prioritizing D is key. For Shutterbug 3, photography is critical, making up 60% of the score, and mastering camera controls to center targets like Missing the Monster, the passenger boat, and the space shuttle is essential. The Diamond Head hang glider test requires using the strong jets to propel the ball into the goal at over 135 km per hour. Touch and Go 2 challenges your rocket belt skills with heavy winds, emphasizing fuel management and using camera controls to scout landing pads. Finally, tips are offered for the Balloon Rush gyrocopter test, suggesting flying through balloons or precise shooting, and the Mecha Hawk Again boss fight, where timing your shots as the robot surfaces is vital to land 5 hits and sink it. This page delves into A Hyrulean Adventure, an interactive, community-driven project hosted on Nintendo Power Source via America Online. It's a space where players create and participate in adventures set in a fantasy world reminiscent of Hyrule. The article highlights how this unique experience features bulletin board-style postings, imaginative characters like Moblins, Wizrobes, and Link, and player-driven world-building. Sections detail news updates from official scribes about exploring new areas like the desolate wasteland and its potential inhabitants, while another focuses on the player community establishing the town of Shigrami, developing infrastructure like irrigation, and facing challenges, including a mysterious virus and a bizarre fast food shop. The page is illustrated with various character art and maps related to the project. This page continues exploring the Hyrulean Adventure project on Nintendo Power Source, highlighting the player community's creativity and humor. Participants inject pop culture references and real-world figures into the fantasy setting, leading to unique interactions at spots like the Turtle Rock Inn. The article describes character antics, ongoing narrative threads like a rebellion against Governor Gaplaza, and events such as a trial involving the Wizrobe Trading Company. Player-created artwork of characters and a map of the Hyrulean Adventure Island showcase the visual side of this evolving online world. This page dives deep into Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, highlighting it as a major topic due to its popularity and unique blend of Mario and RPG elements. The feature covers frequently asked questions, starting with the location of hidden treasure boxes across various areas, though noting the exact locations are in the player's guide. It discusses special items like the attack scarf, the fungi lamp that restores HP/FP, and the seed and fertilizer which leads to powerful lazy shell gear. The article also explains the beetle box for catching beetles, and details puzzles such as the Booster Tower portraits, the Sweet benefits at Marrymore, and the sunken ship password riddle for King Calamari. Screenshots illustrate key items and puzzle locations throughout the game.
This page continues the Super Mario RPG Strategy Guide, focusing on the journey to and secrets within Monstro Town and surrounding areas. It details navigating the maze in Land's End, where your path is determined by paying a shaman and flipping gargoyle switches in a specific sequence, offering different results like frog coins or encounters with Belome. The guide explains how to find the 3 musty fears, overcome them to earn the protective quartz charm, and tackle the hidden boss Culex by using the shiny stone obtained from a mole child. It also covers obtaining the temple key from the Thwomp to unlock Belome's treasure vault. Finally, it provides the steps to access Great Guy's Casino, requiring a trip back to Booster Tower to get the Bright card from Knife Guy, allowing you to play for rewards like frog coins and a reusable star egg from Great Guy himself. Screenshots show key locations and characters you'll encounter. This page features an interview with legendary game designer Shigeru Miyamoto about the development of Super Mario 64. Miyamoto discusses the long process, starting with polygon graphics experiments even before the Super Famicom, and how they eventually harnessed the N64's power. He explains the core design philosophy began with Mario's actions, then building the courses to fit them. Miyamoto also touches on the camera controls using the AC buttons, the challenges of viewpoint in a 3D world, and differences between the Japanese and English versions, noting the addition of voice acting in English. He reveals that working on Zelda 64 simultaneously influenced the puzzle design in Super Mario 64. Screenshots show various gameplay scenes, alongside a photo of Miyamoto himself. This page continues the interview with legendary game designer Shigeru Miyamoto. He discusses the differences in Zelda 64 from the earlier video demo, mentioning the camera system and the striking metallic soldiers. Miyamoto also details changes made to Wave Race 64, including focusing on jet skis and refining handling. He emphasizes the importance of polygon graphics for the N64 and the development freedom it offers compared to the Super Famicom. Discussions cover potential networking capabilities, the 64DD add-on, and the use of the controller memory pack for saving data. Miyamoto shares a personal message about the excitement of completing games and the unique experiences the N64 provides. A side panel highlights work on the English localization of Super Mario 64 and Miyamoto's creative side, featuring a photo of him playing guitar and a large image of Mario. This page dives into Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, bringing the ultimate 16-bit fighting power to the Super NES. The game expands the roster significantly from 15 to 24 characters, introducing new faces like Ermac, Rain, Noob Saibot, and the human form of Smoke alongside classic fighters. The article highlights the faithful adaptation of the game's mechanics and special moves. Beyond the expanded character list, UMK3 features a new tournament mode with multiple classes, a 4-player Toon 2 option, and an 8-player tournament. A new finishing move called the Brutality is introduced, described as a flurry of punches ending in an explosion. Screenshots showcase the character select screen, gameplay battles featuring Ermac and Rain, the Choose Your Destiny Tower, and a Brutality in action. The preview expresses excitement for the increased number of combatants and new gameplay modes. This page previews Disney's Pinocchio game coming to the Super NES, bringing the animated classic to life. The game follows the movie's storyline across 10 chapters, each with a distinct look and style of play, challenging players to help the wooden puppet become a real boy. Key characters like Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket, Geppetto, Honest John, and Gideon are featured. The article touches on different levels, including skipping school, exploring Pleasure Island with balloon rides and roller coasters, confronting the coachman, and navigating the watery world inside a whale. The preview highlights the game's faithfulness to the film and varied gameplay experiences awaiting players. This page previews the upcoming Super NES version of the arcade hit,
NBA Hangtime. Williams is bringing their latest basketball sensation home, featuring a massive roster of 29 teams and 145 real NBA players. A highlight is the innovative Create a Player mode, allowing extensive customization of looks, attributes, and even granting special cheats. Players can improve their custom characters' skills by winning games, earning points for their stats. The game's AI has been enhanced to make opponents more creative and less predictable. An interview with Mike Rubinelli from Williams discusses the design philosophy, focusing on balancing realistic stats with fun gameplay and the challenge of earning success on the court. This page dives into Titus's Super NES release, Prince of Persia 2, The Shadow and the Flame. You have just 73 minutes to help the dethroned prince reclaim his throne from the nefarious Jafar, across 15 challenging levels filled with traps and enemies. The feature provides a walkthrough for the first few stages, starting with escaping the palace by racing across ramparts and leaping onto a ship. It then covers solving the puzzle of the floating stones on a distant shore to find a hidden cavern, and navigating a labyrinthine cave system with branching paths and potent potions. The article highlights the fast-paced action and strategic puzzle-solving required to survive. The next page continues the detailed walkthrough for Prince of Persia 2, The Shadow and the Flame, guiding players through stages 4, 5, and 6. Stage 4, titled A Fall to the Finish, explores a vast underground cavern, suggesting that using a special potion allows the prince to survive long falls, making navigation quicker than exploring every passage. Stage 5, The Going Gets Tough, is highlighted as particularly challenging, stressing the importance of managing time and recommending re-entering passwords if needed. It showcases puzzles involving pressure plates and collapsing floors. Finally, Stage 6, A Crumbling Kingdom, sees the prince escaping caverns and arriving at a decaying castle, facing new threats like hidden blades and the potential loss of his scimitar before continuing his mission. The princess is featured in a portrait, reminding the prince of his goal. The next page continues the journey through Prince of Persia 2, The Shadow and the Flame, detailing stages 7, 8, and 9. Stage 7, a slithery stage, warns against fighting snakes directly, emphasizing strategic movement to avoid their deadly fangs. Stage 8, a hall full of hotheads, introduces fiery enemies you can either fight or run past, highlighting a challenging chasm jump and mentioning health potions, including one that is actually poison. The final section, Stage 9, far from finished, guides the prince through crumbling ruins towards the end of his quest, involving timed leaps to avoid collapsing ledges and navigating dangerous blade traps. The page suggests completing these stages proves you're cunning enough for the remaining 6 levels. This page offers a collection of valuable insights and passwords for various titles. For Mega Man X3, discover how to acquire the chip enhancer, allowing you to equip all 4 special chips simultaneously by visiting Drive Light after fulfilling specific requirements. Jack Bros players can find stage passwords for different characters and levels like the Crystal Palace. SimCity fans get the scoop on clearing game data and unlocking unique hidden landforms through specific menu manipulations. Chapter passwords are provided for the Ghost Who Walks, helping you navigate the urban jungle from various points. Finally, Panic Bomber players can find passwords for the standard stages, building upon the bosses-only challenge from a previous issue. This page delivers a fresh batch of gameplay enhancers and codes. For Romance IV, Wall of Fire, learn how to create virtually unlimited free soldiers to bolster your armies. Jungle Strike players get passwords for later campaigns, granting maximum lives and access to the best co-pilot, Wild Bill. NBA Live 96 reveals hidden players you can add to your roster, including legends and programmers. For War 2410, passwords are provided for nearly every mission, allowing you to skip ahead. Lastly, Stunt Race FX offers a neat trick to change your camera perspective for a different view of the action. There's also a section encouraging players to send in their own tips. This page focuses on classic game codes, highlighting Mega Man, Drive Wily's Revenge for Game Boy, and Super Star Wars for Super NES. For Mega Man, it provides various passwords to start at specific stages, including one that bypasses the first 4 robot masters and takes you directly to Dr. Wily. Screenshots show password grids and typical gameplay levels. For Super Star Wars, several codes are detailed. One accesses a debug menu allowing stage/stat changes, another grants invincibility in side-scrolling levels, a third provides extra continues, and a fourth lets you start the game with a lightsaber. The final code unlocks a sound test for listening to music and sound effects.
These tips offer great ways to revisit these challenging classics or tackle them with an advantage. This page highlights the release of Tetris Attack for the Game Boy, bringing the popular Super NES puzzle action to a portable format. The game offers 7 different ways to play, including one-player modes like Endless, Time Trial, Stage Clear, and Puzzle, as well as 2-player options for versus play against the computer or a friend. The article mentions features like a password system for continuing progress and customization options. It notes a few differences from the SNES version, such as a teaching tutorial and different display of the opponent's progress on the smaller screen. Screenshots show gameplay from various modes, and illustrations feature Yoshi and Bowser, key characters from the game. It's presented as a perfect portable puzzler for 1 or 2 players. This page delves into the various gameplay options available in the Game Boy version of Tetris Attack. It highlights the different modes, including endless play for high-score attempts with adjustable speed, time trial challenging players to score high in 2 minutes, Stage Clear, which offers strategic play with stall times, and Puzzle Mode with 60 brain-bending levels and a password system for progress. The one-player versus mode is detailed, featuring a hit points and power meter system against computer opponents, and allowing players to pick from unlocked characters after defeating them. Illustrations of Bowser, Yoshi, and other characters, along with screenshots from the various modes, demonstrate the game's diverse puzzle action. This page highlights a Game Boy cartridge containing 2 classic arcade hits, Battlezone and Super Breakout. Described as blasts of the past, the article introduces Battlezone as an early breakthrough in 3D gaming, with wireframe graphics, focusing on tank combat, enemy types like stationary ships and kamikaze crafts, and strategic tips for success. Super Breakout is presented as a classic blockbuster. It covers the different game modes, the standard breakout, the trickier double mode with 2 balls and paddles, progressive mode where blocks move down, and cavity mode which starts with balls trapped within the blocks. Screenshots illustrate the distinct graphics and gameplay of each title and mode. This page features the Arena, a section where Nintendo Power challenges readers to set high scores and best times in various games. Challenge number 1 is the Pilot Wing 64 Balloon Rush and SEP class test, requiring players to capture a screenshot of the landing accomplished message. Challenge number 2 focuses on Kirby's Block Ball, asking for the highest score on Stage 2 with screenshot proof. Both challenges offer super power stamps as prizes.
The Battlezone highlights top times in Super Mario RPG's Moleville Mountain Minecart Ride, noting strong regional performances. The page also showcases leaderboards for Kirby's Block Ball, Super Mario Kart on Chocolate Island 2, and Mega Man X3's Rhino Stage, featuring numerous players who achieved impressive results. Finally, a fun Name That Game quiz presents 7 challenging trivia questions for gaming enthusiasts. This page is your guide to the latest releases hitting the shelves in October 1996. We kick things off with the Super Game Boy Classics Battlezone and Super Breakout, bringing 2 arcade veterans together, though the selection screen might be a bit clunky. Next up, Donkey Kong 94 gets an updated release on Game Boy, packed with 100 areas, offering great value despite potentially awkward controls. For Super NES fans, Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals delivers a sprawling RPG adventure mixing genres with deep features and battery save, though control might be speedy. Mario Paint on Super NES is a creative powerhouse allowing art, animation, and music creation, user-friendly and powerful, but limited to 1 save slot. Finally, Mortal Kombat Trilogy arrives on Nintendo 64, boasting the largest roster yet, classic brutal gameplay, excellent options, and impressive graphics, although it stays true to the established MK formula without radical changes. This page delves into more game releases for October 1996, spanning the Super NES and Game Boy. We start with the timeless arcade classic M's Pac-Man on the Super NES, enhanced with new modes for extended play, although the control can feel unresponsive in certain modes. Street Fighter Alpha 2 arrives on Super NES, bringing the popular fighting series with new moves and a distinctive comic book art style, noted for its speed and character balance issues. Prince of Persia 2 challenges players on the Super NES, with its signature blend of puzzles, traps, and difficult sword fights, where one false step can be fatal. For Game Boy, we see the return of Super Mario Land, a straightforward, classic Mario platformer. Finally, Disney's Toy Story lands on Super NES, featuring beautiful graphics and varied gameplay that include side-scrolling, racing, and first-person perspectives, although play control is noted as awkward at times. The page also provides a chart summarizing ratings across different categories, editor picks, and game types for all featured titles, alongside keys explaining system icons and various in-game features like multiplayer and save methods. This page gives us the inside scoop on two exciting upcoming titles. Blast Corps from Rare is described as a demolition action thriller nearly ready for release. Players will use various vehicles like bulldozers, trucks, cars, and giant robots to clear paths for a rolling missile carrier. The game promises over 60 levels and more than 12 vehicles, starting with an easy learning stage using the bulldozer, then expanding with branching paths. Screenshots show different vehicles and chaotic demolition scenes. Killer Instinct Gold, also by Rare, is highlighted as an incredible N64 fighter based on Key 2. It features brilliant new 3D graphics, smooth controls, and all your favorite characters. The reviewer praises the quality, detailed backgrounds, and cinematic camera work, stating it's one of the best fighting games to date. Various modes like arcade, team, and training are included. Screenshots showcase intense fighting action across different arenas. This page dives into upcoming games and industry events. First, we get an update on Turok, Dinosaur Hunter for N64. The graphics are apparently finished, but the release is being held back to add more gameplay depth, including story and puzzles, turning it into a true adventure beyond just a shooter. Next up is Battle Arena Tokoshinden, making its way to the Game Boy. It's a 4-megabit fighter with classic characters like Duke and Eiji, featuring 1-player and 2-player versus modes with 11 fighters in total, promising solid fighting action on the go. We also look at Incantation, a Super NES side-scrolling adventure where you play as a young wizard collecting golden arrows and battling cartoonish enemies with an upgradable wand. Finally, there's a report from the Tokyo Game Show highlighting some 64 games on display, including titles from Konami and Kemco, and the early look at Chameleon Kid with its unique mechanics, suggesting the 64 library was growing. This page delves into more upcoming titles and technical insights. We get updates on esports games coming to Super NES and Game Boy, including details on NHL 97's new line coaching option, alongside multiple screenshots of the gameplay. Big Bang Software is bringing Lode Runner to the N64 in 3D, maintaining the core puzzle solving while changing the perspective. Chronos is showcasing Dark Rift, highlighting impressive graphics achieved with Alias technology. There's also a helpful guide explaining how to wire the N64 to your TV, detailing the included A/versus cables, and the separate RF switch. Quick 64 News covers the development of Super Mario Kart R and Star Fox in Japan, plus scheduled releases for Wayne Gretzky 3D Hockey, NBA Hang Time, Doom 64, and War Gods. Finally, Ubisoft is developing a Game Boy version of Street Racer, aiming for a late-year release. The page concludes with release forecasts for N64, Super NES, and Game Boy games expected in late 1996 and early 1997. This page features a Super Mario 64 contest titled Collect 100 Gold Coins. The grand prize includes real gold coins, naming a star, and an N64 system with the game. Other prizes feature Super Mario 64 merchandise. The next page previews Donkey Kong Country 3 and provides in-depth coverage of Killer Instinct Gold, featuring a screenshot of the fighting action. It also reviews the Wet and Wild Wave Race 64, including a screenshot of the game's visuals. Lists of games available or coming soon for Super NES, Game Boy, N64, and other platforms are also featured. The right side features a large Kellogg's Instant Win game promotion, offering various Nintendo 64 related prizes through specially marked cereal boxes.